Hello everyone, educator here. Welcome back to my newcomer's guide to Dark Souls Remastered. This is part 13. In the last episode, we ended up reaching our son bro, Solaire. He's going to be helping us with the next boss, Ornstein and Smough. And from here, we basically reached the area by getting through the new Anorlando archers, which were some of the more frustrating enemies. Next, we're going to be dealing with a lot of silver knights, so they're kind of like black knights, except they're stronger. That being said, though, if you have been kind of learning your parrying, they're actually pretty easy to kill with parrying. Even without, though, they can still be backstabbed, kind of like the same stuff as before. So if you got good with the Black Knights, you should be able to deal with these guys without too much problem. One thing I want to recommend, by the way, is this would be an excellent bonfire to kindle because Ornstein and Smough is probably, I would say, in the top 3 bosses difficulty-wise in this game with where we are right now. So I'm going to recommend you kindle this bonfire, and we're going to go ahead and leave. Head over here. We have a silver knight in here. A couple different ways that you can kill them. I don't recommend doing stab attacks, because if you do a stab attack, they will often bounce right off of their armor or shield. So I almost exclusively recommend backstabs. And again, if you kind of get over their right shoulder, you should be able to do that. And then I generally recommend hitting them with a jump attack as they're beginning to stand up, and that'll finish them off. In here we got 3 sunlight medals. Next we're going to head out here, take a right. And we got another one of these guys. Now, it's worth mentioning, this guy's running attack looks like it's going to be a thrust, like the Black Knights. However, it's actually a slash. And the timing is a little bit different, so if you think you're going to be doing it like you did with the Black Knights, just remember that the timing is a little different. Otherwise, kind of the same process. Try to get behind them, backstab them. This path right here, by the way, goes to a shortcut later. We'll have to come back through it, though. For now, we're going to head in here. Down the fireplace is a secret. We're going to head down. And left. And again, this is one of those mimic chests. So we got the Occult Club. Now the Occult Club is good against enemies, really anything that's got occult damage to it. Which is basically kind of like darkness. Has good damage against some of the enemies in the game, including the Silver Knights, actually. Silver Knights, Black Knights, etc. Other than that, though, we have Havel's gear. Now, we're actually going to go ahead and equip Havel's gear, because it has some of the strongest physical defense at this point in the game. And since we've been pumping souls into our endurance, we can equip this along with Havel's ring. And look at how high our physical defense is. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and equip that, because we still have the ability to do normal rolls, which is awesome. In fact, I prefer this gear over the Silver Knight gear because it has even a higher defense. Otherwise, though, we're going to go ahead and head back up here. We're going to head up the staircase now. And as you head up the staircase, we're going to see that there are 2 paths here. This basically leads you to nothing. There's a guy down there kind of meant to be a hint for the next area you're about to be in, because we're going to be heading down there here in a few minutes. Otherwise, head over here. We got Silver Knights. Again, if you decide to try to parry these guys, you can do that too. I'm not super great at parrying the full arm guys, but certainly better than parrying these guys than I am with parrying the guys with halberds. Anyway, we got a soul of a hero. We're going to go ahead and head back. Both of the chests on this side and the other side, by the way, are mimics. So go ahead and whack them. We got a gold coin. Another mimic chest. And so now we got the symbol of avarice. The symbol of avarice is basically a combination of the abilities, and it's a helm, by the way. Combination of the abilities that you have, but you'll notice that your health is beginning to drop. It's also pretty heavy, so we're doing fat rolls now. So basically what it does, though, is it will give you a combination of the abilities of the covetous gold and silver serpent rings. So it will raise your soul absorption and item discovery. In addition, it can actually be combined with the covetous silver serpent ring, and can combine with the soul absorption to give you something like 40-something extra souls than you otherwise would get. It's generally recommended that you put this on right before a boss battle is over. I never really bother with it, but if you're trying to farm souls, it's an excellent way to get souls. Combine this with the the covetous silver serpent ring, and that'll increase your chances, or the souls that you get the best. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and continue. We're going to head over here. I like to kill this guy first. He's going to be shooting Dragon Slayer arrows at us. This guy is stabbing. Sometimes he'll drop some of those arrows. So stay around for a moment to make sure he doesn't drop anything. Then we got two paths. This one is one of the shortcuts. It's not open from this side. For now, though, we're going to head in here. Around the corner here, there is another of these knights. And we're going to head up. There are two paths. The left path leads to 4 more of the Silver Knights and Sigmire. This path leads to our shortcut and the final and the boss. I'm actually going to go this route because I want to get y'all to another bonfire, or the shortcut to the bonfire. Okay, we're going to go ahead and head down. Some people, by the way, will jump over this ledge in order to kind of give themselves a shortcut. You can jump on the other side too in order to do that. So to the left we have a demon Titanite demon. To the right we have the path back to the shortcut. So we're going to go ahead and take that. If you're not good with parrying, I recommend getting this guy into the open area over here. That way you can backstab him. Okay, I can never seem to get them on there first, at least not consistently. And then this guy has or not has, but he is not aggressive unless you get near him, but he is protecting the silver gear, so we're going to go ahead and kill him. Now, we're not actually going to switch to this gear because it's actually not as good as the gear that we currently have. Though later, if we run into an area where we can't use the Havel's ring, for example, we will switch to that as our secondary. Anyway, this brings us back to the shortcut. We're going to head in here. This takes us back to the bonfire. And we are 100 souls shy currently of being able to grab a level up. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and head back. Again, if you're doing well, you don't have to rest at the bonfire yet, but I will recommend it before we fight Ornstein and Smough. See? And I can never seem to get him on the first try. At least we have so much defense. This guy, by the way, won't aggro again. So you could just skip him if you are worried about it. Otherwise, now we're going to head over here. Now again, you do not have to kill this guy at this point. He is doing a very healthy amount of damage. Grab 2 hits. Two-handed and then back off is what I generally recommend, because they are doing a serious amount of damage at this point. Oh, I was greedy. Always greedy. Jump. And I couldn't get away from that. And he's dead. Okay. So now you're going to get 2 Titanite, Demon Titanites. And we also got his catch pole. Not a great weapon, but definitely an interesting weapon. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and head back up these stairs. And we're going to go the other path that we missed earlier to help out Smough. Back stabs are great. And jump attacks. We got 4 Silver Knights to go. 1 in here. Head down, talk to Smough, and he's going to tell you that he's a little bit perturbed about the fight that he's about to be in. So we're going to help him. That's the second one. That one I did it again. Didn't follow my own advice. I always mix it up. I'm always thinking, oh, Black Knight. There we go. Now I got it. Anyway, kill these 3 guys. We got a chest here with some more Demon Titanite in it. You can open this door if you want to. Though we're not going to be coming back here. So come talk to Smough again. He will give you the Tiny Beings ring. This will give you a little bit of a boost on max health, but it's, in my opinion, not very useful. We're going to head up. And we are going to head back to the staircase that we skipped out on a little bit earlier. We're going to head up here. We'll deal with what's down there in a little bit. We're going to head down here. And we want to make the drop into here for a Dragon Slayer Great Bow. And then we're going to drop off here. Make sure you have some health. This drop will do some healthy damage to you. These guys, by the way, are really easy to deal with two-handing this weapon. Usually. It's when they don't jump up like that. Now, as before, we're going to shoot this guy off. That was a miss. Alright. And this is more Titanite. Titanite chunk this time. Ooh, he dropped something. Demon Spear. Cool looking weapon, but nothing special. And so here we have a shortcut we're going to open up. Be careful about this guy. He will often stab you. I never can seem to get away from him at the time. And then this is the Great Blacksmith. This guy is the guy who does the boss weapons. So, he has some Titanite. He's got the armor smith box. He's got some giant gear. The enemies that we've been fighting that are giants, they have a chance to drop both of these. We can also grab some various arrows that he has as well. We also got the giant gear too. So very, very heavy. The caveat, though, is that because he does not have the large ember, he cannot do any ascensions from 5 to 6, and he can't do any ascensions from 10 to 11. He can still do upgrades, though. He can also do downgrades, and he can also make boss weapons. So this allows us to turn this weapon into a lightning claymore. I would not recommend doing it. He also has the ability to turn our claymore, in this case, since that's the only weapon we've got, into one of these 3 weapons, based on which of the 3 souls we have. And then he also has the ability to do downgrades, just like Andre does. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and downgrade the Occult Club into the Divine Club, because that'll help us later whenever we go to the Catacombs. For now, though, that's basically all he has. Around the corner here, he has a Hawk Ring. The Hawk Ring, by the way, allows you to improve your distance with bows. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and head up. And if you're hurting, you can, of course, head back around this way. And go ahead and grab yourself the bonfire. Otherwise, I'm going to head down, deal with a few enemies. I'm also going to recommend that you go ahead and open the gate. So these guys, this version of these guys is a little bit more deadly. They have a couple of extra attacks. One of them is basically a white charge-up attack, kind of like a Wrath God type thing. Another ability that they have... that's it. Another ability that they have is actually to heal themselves. But otherwise, they're just as much of a pain as their brethren. Their hitboxes are strange for their shields, which means that you're going to be hitting, you think what's them, only you're actually hitting their shield. Oh, you guys are irritating. I hate these things. I really do. There's the heal ability, and... he's dead. So I would use this opportunity to get used to fighting these guys, because you're going to need to fight them before you head into the boss battle, if you want Solaire's help on this boss battle. Because otherwise he'll stand back and basically try to kill these guys, and he usually dies against these guys. So good opportunity for you to deal with them yourself. Otherwise, if you are doing really well and you've got plenty of SS flasks, you can go ahead and grab Solaire here, head into the boss door over there. However, I don't think 2 SS flasks is enough for this boss myself, so I'm going to go ahead and go grab the bonfire, and then we're going to go tackle Ornstein and Smough. I think we can grab a couple levels too anyway. So as you can see, Solaire is gone because he's got his summon pad out. And let's see here. 2 souls of the hero. Cool, we're at level 30 for each. Vitality and endurance. Okay, so this is a good time to go ahead and talk about it because we're starting to get closer. We are going to go ahead and move off to strength and dexterity at this point, and get those up to 30. However, whenever we come back around for vitality and endurance, it's worth mentioning that we are now approaching the soft caps for the game. So vitality has its first soft cap, I believe, at 30, and its second soft cap at 50. So, which is the hard cap. And then basically, once you reach that hard cap of 50, it will increasing vitality will no longer increase your HP. It will increase some of the other stats on this list, but it won't increase the main one that it's tied to. Likewise, endurance will not increase stamina past 40, so there's no point in getting endurance past 40. So really, we're going to be, circling around to strength and dexterity, get those each to 30. Then we're going to come back to vitality and endurance, get each of those to 40. And then we're going to be kind of putting levels into vitality, strength, and dexterity. Once we hit 50 on vitality, we're going to mainline into strength and dexterity all the way at that point. So that's going to be what our next, 50 levels, I guess, looks like. Which will probably take you to the end of the game, I would say. I usually finish out the game around level 100, 105. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and head back to the boss door. I always seem to miss that first hit. Ignore this guy, he won't chase you. And while you don't have to kill this this Dark Knight, this Silver Knight, I don't want him shooting at me while I'm trying to kill these guys, so I'm gonna go kill him. Oh, right. By the way, if you did not have enough humanity, you could always go back that way, skip these two enemies on the sides here, head back up the platform up there, and there's your Firekeeper bonfire there to get your 10 Estus flasks. Again, if you consider that trek a little easier, that might be easier for you to get through than this one, especially if you haven't been doing so good against the Silver Knights. This, by the way, is their Wrath attack. I hate that attack. Left yourself open, and you are dead. You're supposed to be dead. How'd you get me with that? I don't know. I don't know how he did. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and come up here. Now, Solaire's kind of a dummy. Whenever you summon him, he will often walk off the edge. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of wait for him to come. And then we're gonna walk hand in hand down the staircase together. Come on. That's good. Yeah, he'll actually walk off the ledge and do some damage to himself for some reason. Kind of a dummy. Anyway. Welcome to the Ornstein and Smough fight. This is basically your first real, I would say, get good fight. This is not going to be an easy fight, most likely, but I'm going to try to do my best to make it easier for you. So, you're going to want to have the pine resins. I've got charcoal pine resin and gold pine resin for this fight. That's what I'm going to recommend. So there are two bosses as part of this fight. Smough is the big fat guy. He has the ability to jump up into the air and perform a butt slam. He also has a gigantic hammer, and he'll swing left, right. He'll also do a ground pound with it. He will also put it on the ground and then kind of run at you with it. That can be super hard to deal with. I tend to try to just block it if I can. If you're near a pillar, it's preferable that you fight him near pillars. You can get him to run into the pillar, and he will destroy the pillar. Likewise, most of his attacks will destroy the pillar too. That being said, though, the pillar still leaves enough of a piece of stone on the ground that it can still be used to block his attacks. More specifically, his kind of charge at you attack. And he is susceptible to lightning, so we're actually going to be using that against him. In addition to that, we got Ornstein. Ornstein is a lot faster on his feet. He can zip around the arena very fast. He has lightning damage, hence why we're not going to be using lightning against him. We'll actually be using charcoal against him. He's got a few different attacks, but basically he's got a polearm, so he'll hit you with standard polearm attacks. He'll sometimes do stabs against you. He will do swipes at you. Ironically, he's actually kind of a glass cannon, at least until stage 2. So, depending on who you kill first in this fight, the other one will absorb their power. And let me tell you, Super Smough is a lot easier than Super Ornstein. So if you're trying to make this fight as easy as you can, absolutely kill Ornstein first. The Smough is a lot easier. Basically what will happen though is once their partner dies, they'll gain an ability of their counterpart. Smough, the fat guy, will gain electric damage to all of his attacks, including his butt slam, but it's not that hard to deal with. You usually get out of the way of it pretty easy, if you're paying attention. On the other hand, Ornstein will gain the butt slam ability, and he'll retain his electrical damage too that he does. He'll also tend to do this attack where he lights up his the end of his staff or polearm, and then he shoves it into you. And that's a grab attack that'll do a massive amount of damage. You want to stay away from that. He's also invulnerable during that portion of the animation, so if he's doing it, for example, against Solaire, be aware of that. You're not going to be able to do damage to him while he's doing good for a good chunk of that animation. Anyway, we're going to go and do the gold pine resin because I'm actually going to try to kill Smough first. Because while it is the harder fight, it gives you a ring at the end, and I happen to like the gear that you get better because you only get one of their souls. As you walk in, it's a good idea to hold up your shield. Something really important about this fight is you want to keep them both on basically the same screen as you can, especially if you are fighting them alone. So there's his butt slam. If he's about to do a jump, by the way, you can actually interrupt him a lot of times by doing enough damage to him. And he's dead. So, regardless of which one you kill first, they will always end up spawning the big one in the same area. So it's a good idea to kind of move away from him. Alright, now we are ready to put some electric damage on there. I'm sorry, some fire damage on there. So that's that attack he can do. There's his butt slam. I totally missed him doing that. Fire has a pretty... I'm sorry, the electricity has a pretty crazy range to it. Oh god. I did a jump attack right as he was jumping up. Such bad timing. He didn't do the butt slam so often, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. God, stop doing that attack, you ass. And he's done. Yes. Alright, so we got Ornstein's soul. We also get the Leo ring and the sunlight medal. Here is the Leo ring. So this is part of kind of a several rings that we've been getting. So the Leo ring boosts counterattacks against thrust. Not super useful for most situations, but it does have its moments. So we got the other two versions of that ring as well. For now, though, we're going to go ahead and head up here. You can activate the bonfire if you want. You do not necessarily need to actually sit at it right now, because we are safe. we're going to head in here and we're going to talk to Guinevere. So again, if you are simping for the pixels, you'll notice that there are there are pads on the ground of people, commenting about her. Dirty, dirty minds. Anyway, she's going to give you the Lord Vessel. The Lord Vessel allows you to now warp between bonfires. You can warp from any bonfire, but you are limited to warping to specific bonfires. In addition, if you chat with her again, you will have the ability to join her covenant. This will give you the Ring of the Sun Princess. So, at this point, we are members of the Princess's Guard. In addition, we got a new ring. Sun Covenant. Sorry. Boosts Miracle Synergy. So, Synergy is something we haven't talked about yet, but it is something that if you're dealing with some of the co-op covenants, including this one, you'll have what's called Miracle Synergy. Now, if you go look at a weapon, you'll notice under Aux effects, we talked about the concept of bleed and poison. This weapon, for example, has 0 on both of those, but next to those, there are 2 other symbols, a white circle and a black circle. And these will show up if you're playing online on the ground in certain places after someone casts a spell. There's basically a chance of it showing up. And if people cast other spells within that location, they are granted synergy. So your spells become more powerful. So really, really appropriate if you are doing that. And that's basically what this particular ring does, is it will boost Miracle Synergy. So definitely a good thing to have if you're playing online, especially if you are a spellcaster. But in our case, we are not. Anyway, you can talk to her if you want to kind of learn some details about kind of what's going on. Her dad is basically a guy who is the king of this kind of realm. And what he ended up doing was he used his own soul to kind of kindle the bonfire of effectively this world. And if that bonfire is allowed to be destroyed or to go out, basically, what'll end up happening is the world will kind of end as we know it, or at least that's what they think. So she's trying to convince you to basically link the flame by basically replacing her father. Anyway, so now we are at Vitality of 30, Endurance of 30. We're going to go ahead and start working on Strength and Dexterity. And with that, that's going to wrap up this episode. So we have beaten Ornstein and Smough. From here, we're going to be heading into a couple other areas. We're going to be probably doing Sif in the next episode. And because the Asylum Demon is pretty quick, I may end up having us do both the Asylum Demon and Sif. So we'll probably do both of those in one episode. And then after that, we're going to be heading towards the New Londo Ruins. So finally going through kind of the Abyss area as well. And probably, I don't know if we'll do it in the same episode, but we'll probably tackle the 4 Kings at that point too. So beyond that though, thanks everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And I hope to see you in the next one. Later.